Hello everyone and welcome to the unboxing or already unboxed Nova GT Army. This has all been kept very secret, but I am bringing camels, Mahud Raiders. So I'm going to be unboxing all of these now, and there are quite a few blisters here. There's a whole 800-point army of, I would actually say, fluff this time around. The Irishman's taking fluff. Well, yes, Dave Nolan is taking camels, and he is taking the Knight of Umbar. So I'm going to take little video shots as I unbox these and as I put them together and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Okay, cheers. Hello guys, and well, I suppose this is the unboxing of my Mahud Army, my camels, and this is for Nova. Now I've kept this secret. I intend to do so up until the date if possible, just for the giggles. And yeah, let's see how I get on painting with this. Okay, so I usually use a knife to open these things, and after years of working with Games Workshop, I still have forgotten that all you have to do is press the back and pop a doodle dandy. So I'll put the old knife away temporarily, and we'll see what we've got. Alright, so I've got 24 of these from JT, from Awkward Battles. Fantastic. So what we'll do is we'll start cleaning up the old flash on these very quickly. I'm not a great cleaner of models. I tend to have a lot of, how do I say, lack of patience, so I like to kick on quickly, get the model done, and then start painting it, and then come to regret it when I have to, in the middle of painting, start taking off some of this flash. Let's see if I have one of my smaller tools for the job. Here we go, a little snippet. The reason I don't like doing flash is because on a couple of occasions I've managed to get the models totally wrong and end up, how to say, snipping off the wrong bits, like tops there or something, which obviously ain't great and can be very frustrating. So find a lot of flash down around the feet, take off anything I see, and in the cases of these guys around the bags and the belly. So I'll have to give them a bit of a rubbing with some, I don't know, file or something to smooth them all out. Okay, so Jay Clare told me a few quick trips, or quick tips should I say, for painting these, and I'll give them a try. He has his own Mahud Army, and it's inspiration from him that I'm actually doing this for Nova. Why am I taking this army? Well, I was going to take my all Felbeast army and go extremely competitive, but as myself and Devon have become extremely good friends, and we speak to each other on every night now for hours on the phone, etc. So he was a bit worried that there were too many Felbeasts coming. So, you know, as a friend, I turned around and said, okay, well, look, I won't bring mine if that eases the situation. And well, he was saying, yeah, really appreciate that. As it turned out, people started dropping out with the Felbeast list. They started deciding taking other lists instead. And Devon came back to me and said, well, you can take your Felbeast if you want now, Dave. And I said, no, I've just bought myself a brand new army from JT. I'm going to keep it secret. I class it as a fluffy army, and away we go. We'll come to Nova with hopefully what will be classed as a fluffy army. So I've got 23 camels with a standard bearer. I'll start making up the standard bearer at some point and show you the results of that. I'm taking the Knight of Umbar on a fell beast. Okay, that's where the fluff kind of goes out the window, I suppose, but it is only one fell beast, and these guys unfortunately are pure glass hammers. They do have this charge bonus. Well, when I say charge bonus, they have the ability to cause damage through impalement on a charge, even before combat phase starts, so that can be quite good. If they manage to get the charge in, like most cavalry, yeah, they do have the extra attack there, and they do have lances as well, so really kind of cool. But with a defense 5, and that's with a shield, they're quite susceptible to just about every troop to go down flat in their face. So yeah, I'm taking off the tabs here because I am actually going to be putting these on their own bases. Let's see if we have some of these bases to hand. No, because I make my own bases, and I intend to perhaps do this sort of cracked artifact. Well, I've got a few of those made up, and we'll come back to those later on and see how it goes on. Okay, listen, I always find these sort of hobby blogs slight bit boring to do. I mean, you know, fair due to the guys who have the patience to do them. I don't really know if they're my sort of scene. I think all you end up doing is sounding boring, monotoned, and it's not cruel. So, well, should I say, I think I sound monotoned and boring with it. Now, these tabs, here we go. Don't want to cut off the ends of the shields. I don't know if you guys can see this, because this is my first time doing a camera angle like this, and it's actually upside down, which is quite uncool. Okay, so what have we got? We have a blowpipe, we have a shield, needs a little bit more work on it, just in there. I don't know if this is all coming across, or am I losing focus, or I don't know. I do apologize. Right, so that's all the bits and pieces done. We can bin those. I always take off the pieces of grass that come with them. The reason being is that I never think that they look realistic enough, and so I always like to do a bit of a job on them. So, oh, that went flying across the room. Hey, nearly knocked out some of my fell beasts there. Okay, so here we go. Clean up the area. That's all good, and theoretically I should come along and look for any separation lines or any bits and pieces that would show up as I'm painting as usual, but no, it looks okay. Looks okay. Yeah, as I said, I've got 23 or 24 of these guys to do. So next thing is the feet. Let's just chop that, make it nice and smooth. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of green stuff to do with these guys. You can tell that the leg doesn't fit properly there, so might need to do a little bit of work on that. And I can tell you that this is going to be fiddly. Oh, actually, super gluing these, for some reason, In my day, super glue was easy. No, it just doesn't seem to stick. What's this? Yeah. Different types of super glue, I suppose, work. This one and previous ones that I bought, I actually thought the super glue had gone off. Just wouldn't hold. So, here we go. So if I can just keep that in place. Like so, I think. Can't really tell if the in my day that would have stuck. God, I'm sounding old. But I think I found this most frustrating when I was trying to put these guys together. I think it was a case of even the smallest bit of flash would prevent that bond from occurring. And I have got 23 of these to do. Yeah, it just does not seem to be flush in any manner whatsoever. Don't know if it's the back skirt or what. No, I'm tearing off chunks of metal now. That can't be good. Yeah, and the chunks that I tore off just mean that I now have a vast hole there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, yeah, and this is not sticking. Now I'm sure that I'm going to get tons of messages going, well, you should have washed it in this and you should have washed it in that and that would have worked and this would have worked, or you used too much glue, or yeah, you're all right. This is my impatience, trying to do a video and get these things put on. Should I pin the legs? 23 to 24 of these 2 legs, that's more pins than I can imagine. It certainly doesn't like to stick. And I can tell you, this is an ongoing thing. Now, I can hammer on with this all day long, keep my fingers here and hope and pray, who knows. I'll then get that one sorted, I'll go to put on the other one, and I'll knock this one and this will fall off. So can we see an ongoing saga here of frustration and what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? 12 minutes into this video, I've barely opened the first packet and already it's a case of, oh, maybe I haven't put models together in a long while. Oh, it seems to stick, and there is the whole of Calcutta. There is the black hole of Deep Space Nine. There is... that's nearly as big as Titan. And off falls the leg. Okay, so I'm kind of getting a bit of an inkling that the surfaces I've glued aren't actually touching the other sides. Hey, maybe setting up a new army was not such a great idea after all. Pure frustration. And this is what you don't see in other YouTube channels. You don't see the frustration, why won't it fit? I know what I'm doing, I'm an adult. Not really. If I knew what I was doing, it wouldn't be so frustrating. Okay, so no, it's just not working. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out one that I've done previously, and this one has been in the oven for, I wish. Right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to give it a bit of a scraping to see if that has any effect on the other leg. You know, because these things are sometimes covered in a form of a talc when they're in the mold to make them easier to remove and stuff, that could have an effect on why it's not working. But remember, we are dealing with impatience here. Okay, this is 47 years of pure impatience all come together with the male idea of I know what I'm doing, when in fact I haven't a clue. Right, so for all of you kids out there, and I'm sure there's a few of you who have always thought, yes, it works, everything works fine. It doesn't. It needs some hard work and some patience. And guess what? I have it in... No, actually I don't. I don't have it in bucket loads at all. Okay, so we've tried now giving this a wee bit of a scraping. Let's give it a little bit. Dave, there's more super glue in there than there is water in the Red Sea. And you know what? You're right. It isn't going to glue first time, because if it did, I would have to go through every single one of these and scrape them all. Yes, and it didn't. Woohoo! There is... maybe I had too much glue on here. Right, so this is turning into a very, very excitingly boring single model, whole army get together. So, like, oh dear, that worked. Oh dear. Okay, so let's scrape all the rest of these one leg at a time. I do hope it's only the legs that are going to cause me grief. So, it's not a manufacturing fault. I'm not trying to blame anyone. It's more like a Dave Nolan lack of patience. Super glue on the fingers. Look, gluing fingers together. My hands are made of asbestos. Right, so did a bit of a bit there. Let's put a tiniest bit of glue on and see if the scrapings... Now, here's another thing. The feet are practically touching each other. So if I put pressure on one, I risk knocking off the other. Total frustration again. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. And you've got to go through God knows how much of this to actually see me painting. Okay. I just nearly glued my fingers together. And the other leg fell off. Woohoo! Oh, no. Now, most YouTubers, professional YouTubers, would turn around and say, okay, guys, back in a moment when this is all glued, and yep, away we go. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that, because I'm going to try and be professional in this one. Okay, catch you all in a minute when this is all glued. And after nearly half an hour of messing around, I finally had to resort to a technique I've never really used before, or at least not too often. I pulled out the green stuff. And I put the green stuff in the space where the foot and legs were, and I super glued the model into place. Now here I go stupidly about to mess around to see if I can clean off some of the super glue before, or the green stuff before the super glue is dried. Anyway, aside from that, cheating again. I suppose cheating in a sense is a strange term to use when trying to get something to glue. But I am a total failure when it comes to modelling at this moment in time. So a little bit of super glue in there, and a little bit of super glue in here for the tusks. Line them all up and push. Yeah, that could and should work nicely. Okay, so that's the tusks put in. Little bit of clearance there. actually we'll just line them up a bit more, a bit straighter to the bottom of. And this is where it all goes wrong again. This is becoming a chore, a serious chore, not just a modelling chore. So I'm just lining those up here against the bottom of the, I suppose, thatched or weed woven blankets that have been put over the camels. I'm not going to go as far to say that they're actually armour, because the camels aren't armoured. But I will say that it's definitely more along the lines of a thatched approach, I would imagine. Yeah, let's just pull some of that out and see how that works, because that one might fit nicely. Now that I've put some green stuff in, I'm actually regretting this. Oh, my modelling career is over. I think I'm a bit too fat for that anyway, but hey ho. Let's just crack on and see if we can get this finished, because after this I want to undercoat in white. Now, with a little bit of green stuff in there, let's just pop some more super glue in and marry that up, and that's quite good. I do like metal models from Games Workshop, I won't lie. I have a great preference for them over plastic or fine cast. I think that's because of the fact that I like durability, and the plastic and the fine cast are fine. I know I've had one or two issues with some of the fine cast models, but with a bit of hot water I've been able to quite happily straighten any of the fine cast issues. I've also had problems with them snapping, and I think on the likes of Elrond and Trandrel that was always an ongoing problem for me. But my models tended to work out okay. Super glue in the right place. Now, super glue on those always seems to work. Super glue on metal at the moment, maybe it's super glue I'm using, maybe it's just the way I'm doing things, just seems a tad strange. Now, here we go. So yeah, he's all set up. I've got the shield left to do. I may leave the shield off, I may put it on, but there is a lovely little slot there just above his arm for the shield to go in, and the shield can obviously go in different angles and stuff, so yep. And then finally we just have his blowpipe. So what I might do is, while that just sorts itself out, is give the blowpipe a little bit of a clean if it needs it, and see if this will stick. Woohoo! I am so looking forward to when I can stop super gluing all of these camels. And we have the foot models as well to go with them. What mammoth task have I taken on for myself? What have I done, I say? Right, so a dab of glue on there and a dab of glue on the mouthpiece. Now let's see how this pans out. So that slips in there, and that should just go over by the mount. And Bob's your uncle. That's it, perfect. I dare not take my finger away. At least A, my finger is glued to the model, or B, it just falls off and I've got to start again. Now, being the perfectionist that I am, I'm now trying to move the arm so that it sits in better into the slot. Okay, but generally, yeah, that looks none too bad. So, what have I said? Oh, I am an idiot. Okay, you don't have to make that public, Dave. Right, so let's just put this back in place, and what we're going to do is we're just going to put it down in one spot and come back and hope it's glued. Problem with this, putting pressure on this side, I'll touch maybe the tusk for the impale, or I'll hit one of the legs, or I'll break it off its base, or whatever. So we'll just put this down nicely, like so, and we'll do a little bit of a quick zoom in. Put it into the frame, Dave, into the frame. Again, what is going on here? Oh, let's get this right in here now, and let's take a look-see at this gluing. So let's put a tiny bit of glue in the hole. Not that extra glue is going to do anything, and let's put a whole load of glue on the face, so it means I can't paint the facial features. Okay, or maybe let's not do that. Let's just see if... oh, and now that I'm getting closer inspection, look at all the flash that's still on this model. Right, so... oh no, that's it, Dave. Just poke it in the eye. That's it. Actually, that doesn't seem to want to marry up too well. There's just in there seems to be a large slot. That would ideally accept some green stuff. But, okay, so if I hold the model like this and keep holding the model like this, don't turn it upside down, Dave. No, I'm just all confused. What's going on? Oh, dearie me. So, there we go. That's the first Mahud Raider done. And let's just lay him down there and in camera shot and woohoo! We'll put this baby on later. Right, so we'll take this away now and we'll undercoat it and then we'll look at the next stage. Okay. And hello again. And here is another one of these camels, and this time he's been undercoated white. Okay. But for those observant, he's a three-legged camel. What happened there? Okay, so I got 24 of these guys. And when I opened up the packaging, one of them, actually no, two of them were missing a leg each. Not very good. They were actually missing potentially the same leg, this back leg, so I couldn't even make a model out of two. And because the army needed 23 at least, I was struggling. So I had to go away and get back to customer service for Games Workshop, and they listened to my plea. They understood that I got it from an alternative external provider. JT, great guy. It's not his fault. It's just the packaging. And Games Workshop were happy to honour this. Obviously, I'm sure they get thousands and thousands of calls a day. We're missing this, we're missing that. And they do want some proof of purchase, and they do want some photographs. So I sent him a photograph. I did explain the proof of purchase was to an external independent store, and they said, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So they sent me out a new pack or two. Well, they sent me out the packs that I was missing, to be honest. And here we go. So thank you very, very much, Games Workshop. Really appreciate that. I still have one guy and I can use him for my demo. So what I'm going to do now is I've undercoated him white. And I'm going to now take him out and spray him a desert colour. And then he will be really ready to sit down and get some proper painting done. So I'm going to head off and do that now. So back in a sec, guys. Hello, guys, and yeah, a very, very quick spray of a desert colour brown. Still a tiny bit tacky because obviously I have the patience of a saint. Not, you can actually see a bit of a shine here where the paint is still possibly drying. So yeah, that's sprayed now. So what I'm going to do is, when I am patient enough and this thing does dry, I'm actually going to turn around and start giving it a wash. And the wash is going to consist of quite a few paints. Let's put this down here now. Let's zoom back in and I'll show you the sort of paints I'm going to be working with. Now, I'm loving these Scale 75s. They are just amazing. And this is their intensity set, which is a load of different inks. The reason I love the paints though is inside they have this this fantastic chart. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the intense chestnut, the intense wood, tiny bit of the intense black, intense red, and the intense yellow. Well, it's the intense set, so why not? I'm just going to mix all of these up. A bit more of a ratio of the brown, less of a ratio of the black, a bit of the yellow, and the thing. So what we might do is we'll see if we can quickly do this. Although I am so late, I should have been home. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning now. So just a tiny bit of the yellow. Well, a tiny bit. That's actually loads of yellow. In fact. For the job that I'm going to do, but I've taken the other little bit of the red because I want a browny red. I want to kind of get that red into the recesses as well. So we're now going to do the intense chestnut and throw this in. Let's see how this gets on. 2 drops of that to try that out. Tiny bit of the, we'll do 1 drop of the intense wood and we'll see how it comes out. There's 1 drop, and then 1 drop of the black, because I do want the recesses also to have a very, very dark effect. Now we'll give this a little bit of a mix and see if I'm happy with what's coming out. Okay, so that's looking, in the camera, it's looking quite dark, but here, it's just not dark enough. I'm going to give it another 2 drops of black. Okay. And yeah, it's coming out nice and dark. Is it too dark? We'll see. It still has the reddish tones, but just. Now, I'm going to drop my paintbrush all over the place. I'm going to get my thinner out. A little syringe here, because it makes it easier to apply the right amount of drops. That was a few. Okay. You can really tell that my desire to get everything sorted is top quality. Oh, dearie me. Right, so don't ever follow any of my hobby blogs, because it is just all wrong. Yeah, we'll test this out now. So what we're going to do is we're literally going to go over everything. Now that is a little bit too dark, and it's not holding onto the paint properly yet. So what we'll do is we'll add some more of the yellow to lighten it up a little bit. It's got the darkness that I want, but 2 drops of the old yellow. That brings it back to a browner, dark shade. Yeah. and then splodge this all on. Literally splodge it on. And the red is coming out just as I expected it would. All over the Hood Raider himself, all over the body. Very, very quick technique, obviously. Now, this will all dry, and because scale 75 paints, well, let me get this into frame. I do apologize. What a terrible host. There we go. May need to go over this a second time because it's been rejected by the double undercoat here that I have on, but that's okay. Might have put in a little too much over enthusiastic with the thinner, but again, that's all okay. Just quickly go over this. Splodging it on. We will get the desired effect. I'm confident of that. And so what is the desired effect? Well, basically I just want to stain it. Stain the whole model with this, which makes the likes of the camel, the wicker work, as I'll call it, just really do all the work for us in a sense, so that I don't have to come back and paint the wicker work possibly. Because if this works out as it should, then I'll find that the wicker work will just hold it very nicely. We'll take on a nice stain from it as well, but most importantly, give the impression of a nice job of the wicker work. If I say that again, it'll sound weird. Wicker work, worker wick. How many wicks can a wick work? If a wick work could work wicks, I have no idea. Yeah, listen, I don't mind really if half the universe now unsubscribes from the channel, because this is one of these kind of like mad moments in time. What is that Irishman on about? You know, this is where Owen is not shouting, like, subscribe, to do. Yeah. Okay, so maybe my doctor at this point would be saying, yes, put the brush down, Dave. Now, I prefer doing interviews. Seriously. Interviews are things I can deal with. I like speaking to people. I like helping direct people. I certainly don't like directing myself when I'm painting. Oh, it's a three-legged camel. That's why the paint's not holding. It's got to be another reason than my fault. No way could be my fault. I am not responsible for anything that I say or do on this channel. Actually, you are, Dave. So, moving on quickly as I can. That's one done. Another 23 more to go. The wicker work is going to be fine. But what I am going to do for the wicker work, because though I said I put red in here, it really hasn't taken the red aspect as well as I had hoped. So we'll find some more red. Hey red, where are you? There's the red. As I put a paintbrush in my mouth. Of course you can speak with a paintbrush in your mouth. Your audio is now fixed. That is thanks to Devon, who gave me some advice on how to fix my audio. I hope it has improved things. Let's just get a little bit more red in here. Let's get it all in camera, and then just get some too much red. There we go. So why do I want the red? Well, I don't know the exact term here, but this wicker work with a little bit of red showing through, I think it looks a little bit more realistic. It's not the blood in it. It's not. It's maybe the light just catching off aspects of the wicker work. The wicker work. This is just sounding so wrong. There we go. The headband's looking okay. And because this is quite watery, there's going to be a lot of gravity pulling this ink down. And again, that's something that I expect. Just once all the ink work is covered, or sorry, all the wicker work is covered, that's the important thing. Just give another quick once over with the camels there. Bit of blood red coming through their skin wouldn't hurt too much. There we go. Oh, it's a three-legged camel again. Oh no, here I am totally out of focus. I do apologize. Let's just zoom this out a bit, and hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys in the picture. Oh, that's such a pun. Right, okay, now that I'm slowly losing my mind, let's just get the back of these impaling tusks. And there we go. So that is the first guy done. So what's the intention next? Well, the intention is that when this is dry, I'll be able to pick out the muscle tone on the camel. Quite, you can actually start seeing that on the legs. Yeah. Or three legs. Eek. And that should dry kind of nicely, giving me a chance to come back and do that. Now, there are things that are actually finished now that I could quite happily just get away with. Excuse me, here comes the sneeze. 2 o'clock in the morning sneeze, woohoo! And that is as I said, the wicker work is practically done. I can do a bit of highlighting on that. I need down here to be a little bit darker. Need to be darker underneath the bag. The bags are going to be black. Tusks white. And that's it. That's all I can do. So I'll leave that for 1 second now, and I'll move quickly on and get the other one, which is now drying outside. So bear with us again. Hello again, guys, and I'm back. Okay, I've got this guy already sorted out. Just got to do the dip of death on him, but something else I've been doing is making my own bases. Now, I'm not too sure you're going to be able to see the detail on this. This is a desert base, at least one of many that I've made, and this is it completed. With a few tufts of Mordheim grass or a few bits and pieces, this will look the business. I'm going to paint the rim black, and that'll help the base and the models pop out. So this base is finished. Woohoo! Quite simple. Again, same sort of a wash on top, and then highlight different levels will just bring up that lovely texture. A few little rocks in there, that desert effect. As you can see, just quickly made base. And there you go. So what I'm going to do is, with the model, is... Oh no! Oh, look at that! Tragedy! Wet paint, thumb mark, what can I say? Oh, I am a muppet. But hey ho, this is definitely not the most professional thing you've ever seen. So what I would do is I would wait until this dries, and then basically I would pop the model off its base and then attach it to this, pin it, etc. And that way all my hard work has been done. It's based up, it's ready to rock and roll, and I'm not doing what I usually do, which is when the model's sorted, try to base it and then find myself ripping paint off. So I'm going to leave that tonight on this. I hope you're going to enjoy this video. I'm sure you will. It'll all be fine. It'll all work out in the end. It's like anything. If there's something that you build, it's always going to be a mess before it works. At least that's what I keep convincing myself. Right, so just picking up some of the loose ink here, just putting it back in the recesses, in places, and that's it. So from me, from the mess, hope you're enjoying it so far. As I said, yeah, we'll crack on and we'll get the rest of these on. Okay, cheers. Bye for now, guys. Okay, so jumping ahead, because I've managed to get quite a lot of bits and pieces done recently on these guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to paint up these cloak areas red. That'll tie me back into the timeline that I've got so far and allow me to show you the rest of the stuff quite quickly. Okay, so the paints I'm going to be using here is... Where are you? He says, losing his paints. Ah! Here it is. Right, again, scale color, one stuff I'm using, Olivarian Red. Okay, so obviously these guys do need a wee bit of a shake. It's great that the fact that they come in a dropper bottle and stuff like that. So, there we go. Again, tiniest drop. That's all I need here, and that'll cover the model quite well. I'm also using a syringe, and I basically use scale colors, acrylic thinner as well. I mean, obviously, we're halfway through the video, etc., so you don't really need to be watching this and stuff. So I'm going to quickly move on if I can, but I just basically want to show you the reds. So just the tiniest drop in here, that'll be enough. Get my paintbrush out and give it a wee bit of a mix. There we go. A little bit of a wash, and we're ready to rock and roll quite quickly on. So I'm not too fussed about making sure that I get straight coverage. Yeah, again, I spoke about I want to use these paints because they help me, how to say, slow down my painting, so I'm not looking for quick fixes, and give me a bit more, I don't know, respect for the models, respect for the bits and pieces. I'll hopefully become a better painter. Right, so just getting in here. Bit fiddly because obviously I have, as a very bad modeler, put on this shield, which means that the getting into the recesses and stuff isn't as easy, but I am on a speed thing here, although I've just said I'm not, to try and get these guys done. It's actually Wednesday, is it Wednesday the 27th or 26th now of August. I fly, oh, right on the leg. Okay, again, bit of water. I'll be fine, because remember I am going over that skin area anyway. So I'm flying with Gary, and we're out on the Tuesday night. So we're going over to Devon, and obviously by the time this video comes out we'll already be there, and we will be completely knackered because, and I do apologise yet again Gary, I've signed us up to help sort out Nova, as in not sort it out as in run it, but sort it out as in help bring in tables and stuff for the whole event. So yeah, gotta make some severe apologies to Gary when I see him. He's off down to the Longbottom Carnival event, and that's running this Sunday and Monday, and then he's getting the train up here, and away we go. So that's the base of the red done. We'll just do the flag red very quickly. Okay, obviously thinned paint runs, so I've got to be very careful with the angle. I'm holding the model here so that I don't get it running down the flagpole. And there we go. Again, I don't know if you could see that, but the minute I put the paintbrush with a new lick of paint just over the red, it started to take depth. So just quickly going over that. And there we go. A little bit of touching up maybe here and there, but that can be done later. Okay, so that's the red on. Right. Now, the next stage for the red is I get a darker red. And which one am I using? That would be this one here, which is the blood red. And what I tend to do is I'll have the red like so, and then I'll get this blood red and I'll just quickly put it dab on the paper to show you. I'll put the blood red down there like that in the recesses, and you can automatically see that it is giving a shading. So though I said scale color slows things down, if you use them in conjunction with each other, fantastic. I was also given the sheets, and I'll put them up now. Now these sheets tend to come in each box set, and the box sets, oh, why am I doing a scale color promo here? But the box sets come like so. Okay, let me just zoom this out a wee bit. Whoa, in and out. So the box sets come like so, and yeah, inside you get a card, and that card will demonstrate all the procedures that you need to do. So it's quite cool. Unfortunately, I got the big box, the very, very big box, and they didn't put these cards in. So I took the liberty of contacting Scale Color, and I said, yo, I'd like these cards, thank you very much. And they went, okay. So they sent me out the PDFs for them, which was fantastic. So I know this paint hasn't dried yet, but I can just quickly come in and start doing little sections where the recesses are, and then a mix of 1 or 2 more paints. Later on I can do the highlights. So that's how I can very quickly do these guys, giving them the shading and highlighting. More importantly, I'm not having to dry brush or anything like that, which is quite cool, because I kind of suppose I grew up my painting on dry brushing. Let's get that back in again. And that kind of left me with you know, one technique that I used and used all the time, but got quite frustrated because I never felt that I was getting the quality finish job that I wanted. Again, I am not an expert painter, as you've seen. I can't even put the models together again. Okay, so that's it. That's basically the red. Next time I come back, we'll have the blacks going on. That'll be a different location. That'll be at home in my kitchen. Different lighting and stuff, but it'll quickly show you how we get things sorted. Okay, cheers for that. Bye for now. Hello again, guys. Right, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking the camel off these old bases. Now these are bases that I created myself, and they're great. We've got these aren't painted up, they're just quickly gone over, and let me show you. Got a bit of a rock face here, just jutting out, smaller rocks here, and then I had an old tree root that I just placed in. I've painted these up sandy. I have them painted elsewhere. I'll try and get a picture of those on, and I tend to use these more for my Gondor or my elf cavalry, some of the heroes, etc. But what I want to do is I want to transfer from those type over to this type. Now you can't actually see the detail. I showed you these earlier. These again are crackled desert bases that I made up. I made the mold and made a few of these. And so what I'm going to do is a number of things. One is I have to prise this baby off here. Now I made this mistake a while back, and what a mistake it was, because I wasn't happy with these bases that I had this guy on, and I then thought, let's go a bit more thematic. Again, I got bored, so I did up 24 bases, plus I did up all the cavalry bases, etc. So what I've got to do now is I've actually got to get this guy off here. I know how he's oh dear, I don't. This guy is actually pinned. I can just see the pin mark there. So this guy's going to take a tad longer than I expect to get off. But we'll see what we can do. Worst case scenario, we just destroy the base, which would obviously be a shame. So frantically now thinking, how am I going to get this guy off? And how am I going to get all the other 24 guys off? Let's just cut down underneath him. I don't want to start moving him backwards and... Oh, sorry there. I don't want to start moving him backwards and forwards. The reason being is because the legs are relatively fragile. Not overly fragile, they're not just going to keel over, but if you start trying to prise him off that way, you might find that you'll bend the soft metals quite a lot. So yeah, seeing if I can get him out of this. The others I left the foot tag on, and hence why they were a slight bit easier. But this one, I'm actually have to go to destroy the base. Oh no, Dave, don't! Ah, well, it's done now. So get in there and see. Whoa, bits flying everywhere yet again. Health and safety out the door. And there we go. So it was just a tab. Can you see the tab there? Okay, so quick and simple. unfortunately one destroyed base. We'll bin that, and now what we'll do is we'll find an alternative base to go for him. Again, remember this is our three-legged guy, so just need to get this sorted. Now, I found in my father's old toolbox an amazing piece of a drill bit, a hand drill, and I'm sure they're still in existence as I race around looking for this hand drill. Here we go. So this, and ironically it is quite big, so it's bigger than the model, but by the time it gets down into the resin, it's created a hole practically good enough for the model. Right, so I'm just going to drill this hole in here by the rocky area. As I said, this is a hand drill. Okay, I've made an indentation, and the thread, which I am going to clean so it gets a bit of grip. Should always put your knives back in, Dave. Always. Should allow it to just drill straight through. Yeah, this is a quick and simple job. Goodness gracious me. Right, and still not finished, but it is coming through the other side there, so that's potentially all I need. Okay, so firstly I will clean up the base because that'll stop it wobbling. Always, guys, always put your knives back in. I don't, I forget. Just another fraction more. Again, clean that up with my thumb, should be easy enough. Finger, blow out some of the dead resin, and there we go. Perfectly fits in. For this one, I've left the back off, like so. Okay, so looks like it's just missing, but you can adjust that, glue that in place, and you'll have a fantastic job. And the finished product will look like this base. Okay, so just clean up the side of the base and the base is done, which means that my painting now can be focused on the model with a slight bit of work just down by the feet perhaps, and very little risk of getting any paint on the painted base. So that's that. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually just picking out the skulls on the back of these guys, and rather than doing a lot of highlighting, I'm actually trying just the intense chestnut wash, really watered down, and I'm actually just going to place it in to the sections of the skull, the recesses, etc. Now I'm going to see how that turns out. I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit more and perhaps give you an look-see at what I'm talking about. Okay, so really it's just a case of getting the wash in the recesses there, which it did. Oh, not the back of the head. Every time I come on camera I do something slightly askew. So we'll just see how that works out. We'll dry that out and we'll crack on with a few more, because it's all of the ones with the bald heads. Yeah, these guys here. that actually have the skulls on the back, and of course the Mahud King, who I also have, he also has the skulls on the back, but also around him, around his ornaments, around his body. These guys, yeah, with the headdress, they don't tend to have any skulls on them, so you need to zoom. Yeah. So these guys are actually okay, so I can get away with these. I would actually state that these guys are now finished. I just need to pick up any areas where I may have rubbed some of the paint off. The downside of Scale 75 paints is that they are fantastic paints. Really love them, really help me bring out the models quite well, but they're not necessarily gaming, top table gaming sort of paints. You need to put a good covering of varnish over them before you can actually crack on, because they do chip quite easily. I think they're bringing out a new range that will be stronger if they haven't already done so, but the paints themselves are just fantastic. I love what they do. I love how they let me paint my models to a much better standard than I used to. That's not taking away from other manufacturers' paints by all means. What it's just saying is that I think, there are different paints out there that do different jobs, but I think there's also paints out there that work better with different people's styles and ideas on how to paint. And so far so good with the Scale 75s for me. As I said, I've tried other paints and I'm not knocking them. What I'm trying to say is that perhaps my painting style couldn't benefit from those paints, or couldn't get the best out of them. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the last one here, and then I'll obviously get onto the old Mahud King. We'll let these guys dry, and potentially that could be it. That could be the finished article. So the Mahud King, got to do some bits and pieces. He's a bit ratty and tatty in comparison, but yeah, I think at the end of the day it'll all work out okay. Right, cheers. Okay guys, I've just been varnishing these up, and a little bit of a tragedy. So I'm protected the paintwork and I've lost a leg. Fantastic. What can I say? So here we go, back into scene. If we can get these legs, sorry I've run out of camera shot there, but I've got to see if we can get these legs to now glue with the base already in place and the paint job complete. Put a tiny bit of pressure on there and fingers crossed. So, oh, what a tragedy. Anyway, so that's the whole army painted up and done. What I'm going to do now is, sorry, I'm keeping this well out of your view. I do apologise. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a photograph of the whole army together. So just bear with me. And finally, the army complete. Here we have the Mahud King leading a unit of camel riders, the Mahud Raiders, and then we have the Knight of Umbar leading a unit with the flag, the Irish flag. The Irish are going to Nova. Okay, so all of these guys now have been based, as I think you can just make out there. Let's get in close. Whoa, too close. There you go, that's the base. Okay, of all of these guys. And here are the foot models, the the dismounts in the backdrop, and as an independent hero I've taken Shelob. A couple of reasons I've taken Shelob. One is because she gives me some extra punch to a very, very low couraged army, but more importantly, she has the mobility of everyone else. Also, I'm going to America, so I'm taking two armies, the Felbeasts and these. I don't have a lot of room for more models, so duplicating both Shelob and the Knight of Umbar into both armies seemed the sensible thing to do. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Next time you see this army, hopefully we'll be in America and we will be getting smashed, because these guys are all glass hammers. Every single one of them in their own right. So, from me to you to America, let's see what happens and let's have a bit of a laugh. Okay, cheers. Bye for now.